the Type R with unfortunate news. Unfortunately, we're heading back to the collision center. I was completely wrong. The paint's great on the car, but the bumper is not on properly. And the wire that holds the keys to the MORIMOTO lights was tucked inside the crash bar. So I emailed them yesterday, talked to them this morning, and I told them, hey, look, the paint's great. It looks amazing, but I said the bumper is not even on the car. And I said I can't access the keys, to swap them, out if I wanted a different look of the vehicle, because, they tucked that feature inside the crash bar for the headlights. So we are going back, which is really frustrating, really annoying. And the reason why is because the bumper's already been put on the vehicle. So, as I've said multiple times before throughout this whole journey, you guys know, once you put this bumper on and then you take this bumper off, it is never the same. Never. It really sucks. It really sucks. I got home, dropped the car off at my house, let it bake in the sun more. I was rushing. I had to pick up my daughters. I had to pick up my wife at the train station. So last night, some family members came over and we were looking at it. And I started looking a little bit closer at it, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And surely enough, I noticed the bumper wasn't even on properly. You can see the tabs. Everybody knows the tabs, or maybe you don't know, but there's tabs underneath the headlight where the bumper clicks in. It locks in like this. Well, the tabs are like this. They're just pressing up against. It hasn't gone through to lock on to hold the bumper. So it's got to go back. And unfortunately, from what I think I may have saw on some of the tabs, I believe some of them are broken from them applying pressure, to put the bumper back on. So whoever put the bumper back on, and I don't even know how this passed their quality. They said, the car went through quality. I don't know how it passed in quality. There's so many gaps. I mean, you could easily tell, from looking up very, close at it and with a light, that the bumper, it was not on properly. That also being said, there is already scratching on the garnishes, where the emblem is, that black garnish, that front grille is already scratched. I'm not sure if that happened during the drive, which I don't think it did for the way it looks scratched. It looks like it was scratched beforehand, but I didn't see it because I was incompetent and I was just so mesmerized by the paint. You're in a Cutlass, bro. I was not paying attention because I was overly excited. So 100% my fault, but 100% their fault on their quality and how they went ahead and put the whole thing back together. So they said they're going to disassemble and reassemble it. Which really worries me. So I guess we'll see what they say once we get back to the shop. So really unfortunate, but that's all I can do. So we will take it back and hopefully they have good news. So stay tuned.
1 week later.
What's going on, guys? So we're going to pick up the car. It's been like a week or weeks. I took it back to go fix the bumper, as you guys all know. He called me. He said something about it being off by a hair. We'll see. And I got some questions for him, so we're heading there now. And hopefully it'll check out good. He says it looks good, but it's just that gap that's underneath the light is off a little bit. So I'm getting a ride over there, and hopefully it's not too bad. I need to get the car out of there so I can get it to Oscar so he can detail it and PPF it before I need to leave. I'm running really low on time. I got about 2 weeks before I head back to Florida, so it's crunch time. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so my apologies on this content and it being all over the place. I got really sick and tired and fed up of the back and forth with Fairfield Collision, the placement of the bumper, and my overall attitude just really sucked to make any more content, especially after I got out of there to go ahead and pick up what I thought was fixed, but it actually wasn't. So enjoy this wash video. We'll do kind of like a wash and chat, and I do know another content creator does do something like this, and I've actually always wanted to do something like this even before that other content creator on YouTube started doing this. I've always wanted to have these wash and chats, but I'll probably come up with another name. But all in all, back to the repair of the bumper, the whole $10,000 paint job. It's kind of bittersweet. The paint job is great on it, and it looks really good. I'm super Meticulous. I'm very nitpicky. I have OCD when it comes to all of my cars that I've ever owned. As we all know, the Honda, just brand itself, the front bumpers on most of these vehicles, they suck. That's why Mac Lifters has come up with lift kits for the bumpers. That's why JT Spec has come up with lift kits for the bumper tabs. They just suck. They're not good out of the factory once you take them off the first time. And this is what I warned the collision center. I said, please contact me when you go to put the bumper on. I want to make sure it's correct. So all in all, the car was back and forth at the shop 2 or 3 times. It took more weeks than I wanted, and I have a trip to Florida that I'm taking. I'm moving back home. That'll be another wash and chat for another time. But ultimately, I went to go pick it up, and the second time around, and the bumper tabs were not on properly. The front bracket under the headlights, I'm running the MORIMOTO V2s, and they are plug and play, and they fit great. The brackets fit, perfect underneath there. But unfortunately, with the bumper coming back off and them implementing those brackets and then putting the bumper back on, whoever put the bumper back on just did not do a good job. They didn't line them up correctly. You can see that the tabs are still smushed on some of them. Some of them are cracking, and it's just a really unfortunate situation. The other problem with the front bumper on the car, and again, I apologize, I just had a really crappy attitude after I spent an hour or almost 2 there dealing with it. They wanted to take it back in, take it back off, and I told them, please just don't leave it alone. I figured more or less, when I do mods on the vehicle and I go full bolt on again, the bumper's gonna have to come off anyway, and I know how to take it off properly and put it back on properly. But the whole left side of the car, for whatever reason, is having a problem and an issue, and I don't know why. So near the side marker light, that gap that meets the fender to the bumper, it's about 1/4 of an inch thick, maybe a little bit less of gap. And then for whatever reason, I don't know why, but the fog garnish on the right side is just not a snug fit. It is not completely covering the OEM Honda Access fog lights. All in all, it does look great. You know, I've washed the vehicle here multiple times because the shop did a crappy job at washing it. This car was demolished after being there several times, which is unfortunate, but the car did go off to Oscar at the detail center at Finest Films in Middlebury, or Middletown, I apologize, in Connecticut. And he's gonna clean it up. I wanted to get really detailed on a video and show you guys, you know, all the water spots, all the overspray, the gaps, the fog garnish, and really get into it. But to be honest with you guys, it was just going to neg me out more. So I did what I do best. I washed the car because I know that, you know, this is something that calms me down. So I went ahead and I just did a basic wash with Adam's shampoo. I washed it several times because it was severely bad. I think this is the second time right now. If you're looking at the video and you're following through and you've made it this far, this is probably the second foam cannon that I've sprayed on the vehicle. It took me 3 washes, touchless as well. I didn't want to go ahead and scrub anything because I was nervous of the overspray. But more or less, I calmed myself down and I washed the car and it looked really good. The paint was a very good paint job. You would never be able to tell that the vehicle was painted. It just pissed me off that more or less, you know, that the detail center that they brought it to after it was done at paint didn't do a better job. But you get what you get, you know. So I went ahead and I washed the vehicle and just tried to relax and take it all in. I'm super stoked about the MORIMOTO V2 lights. I'm super stoked that the paint just looks like a brand new car. It really does. It just sucks that there are gaps underneath the headlights, near the side markers, and that one side for the fog garnish. Now, Oscar does have the vehicle at Finest Films. He's taking care of it. The car is going to be gone for a week. You know, it had really bad watermarks on it. It did have scratching on the front grille piece from the guy or the people who were installing the bumper. They just, I don't know if it wasn't that they didn't care or they just were rushing, or you know, maybe it was something that was overseen. But to me, I don't know how this got, you know, this is just my opinion. I don't know how this vehicle got through to quality. I really don't. I deal with quality in aviation and aerospace, and something like this would never ever pass. Like if a unit was scratched, we get a lot of panels and winglets and stuff like that, and if they're scratched, dented, scuffed, any of that, it doesn't get through QA. We have to bring in a mechanic to look at it and see if they can go over it again and make it look better, or we have to ask for customer approval to see if they accept the unit. So all in all, we got the car back, and it feels really good to be able to drive it and enjoy the vehicle. This color just really pops, and I'm just super excited. Oscar's going to be doing a full decontamination bath on it with a clay bar, 2-step paint correction. He was going to PPF the whole front clip. That does include the fog lights. It includes the headlights, the emblems, and I'm just really excited. That being said, guys, I appreciate everybody watching, and I'm sorry for blabbing on the video a lot. I'm starting to realize that I'm doing that way too much, and you guys want to see car content, not hear me talk. So I'm going to do better when it comes to making these videos. And again, I apologize for the content being all over the place. This is all I have for this video. When we go to pick up the vehicle from Oscar at Finest Films, we'll do a walk around and he can tell us what he did, and it should be good content. This whole thing has just been one big mess with the bumper, and it was somewhat remedied, and I'm grateful for that. You know what I mean? Like I said, the paint job was really good. So again, I appreciate everybody watching. Enough of me talking, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.